I know. Oh, my cat's going crazy. Someone's here with us today. So, Unleash Your Light is all about overcoming emotional obstacles, keep you separated from that divine light within. Well, what the heck is the point of that divine light within? You probably already know that because you are watching me. So you already know what that divine light within is. However, for those of you who don't know what that divine light is, it is the energy of God, light, Gaia, source, creator, call it Fred. It doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you are seeking it. So that energy is inside each one of us. And here we all are waking up and realizing that. So once we realize that we have this light within us, once we are saying, I see that there's more out there. And if you're interested in the stages of the awakening, if you're really, really beginning of your journey, I do have a video called The Real No BS Stages of Awakening, and you can take a look at it. I'll put the link in there. So this is our topic today. How does spirituality and practicality save the world? Hey, we all want to save the world. In fact, that's one of the stages of the awakening, is you get in this space where you want to save everyone. And now, how does this translate in the real world? Because we allow society to dictate a lot of things to us that we will ignore our empathy, our unconditional love, because society says it's like this, X, Y, Z. I'll give you an example. And trigger warning, I'm giving you a difficult example here. So if we look at the states here in the US, and it is 2019, August, if you are watching, August, September, if you're watching this in the future. We are in a very tumultuous time in our country. And there is a huge separation to the point that relationships are destroyed over political affiliations. If you follow Trump, there are people who will hate you, who will refuse to speak to you. Families have been broken up. Marriages have been broken up. People have been killed. There have literally been murders over the presidency. And so now the way that I'm saying that may sound like I'm one of those people. I have a friend who, this is not the example. I have a friend who's constantly putting up posts about how great Trump is and how stupid all the liberals are. Okay. And he's certainly welcome to his opinion. But here's the thing that he doesn't remember. And it's been several of my friends that have done this. I am a liberal. I believe in equality. I believe in education. I believe in science. I believe that we need to be funding these things. I believe that there are human rights that every single person in the world should have. And that we need to have a human constitution and then force all the governments to go along with that. Just my take on it. But when he puts up this message, Trump is wonderful and all you liberals are stupid assholes, he gets a lot of pushback, not because people got called an asshole, right? All the liberals are not going, how dare you call me an asshole? No, they attack the person that he's praising, right? And they attack him for praising that person, okay? Because, and then that person, of course, gets angry and it's like, I don't understand all this hate, all you guys telling me, you know, F you. I don't understand why you're doing this to me. I don't understand this reaction. And then people are trying to explain to him that's because you're backing someone who does X, Y, Z. And if they hate those people, then now you are okay with them hating those people. Like it becomes this thing where we're looking at someone that we love, that we think loves us, and then they are saying bad things. And it does go both ways because people post horrible things about Trump. They do. People on the liberal side post terrible things about Trump. But my friend is not Trump personally, right? But my friend gets so angry about Trump personally that he calls the person attacking Trump out rather than just defend with facts the actual stuff, right? So the people watching, the people who know him, who are liberals, are going, I don't understand why you love this. And they're trying to figure it out, and they're hurt because they thought they knew their friend. And now their friend is calling them stupid, calling them names, saying that everything they believe in is ridiculous and shouldn't be a thing. And that all of our fears are unfounded. All the liberal fears are unfounded, and you're all just fear mongering, and there's nothing going on here. Everybody look away. So this is happening in the States. If you're not from the States, maybe this is happening in your country too. I know that it's happening a lot in the UK with nationalism, with the rise of nationalism and populism. It does tend to bring out that white nationalist segment of the community. Okay. So here's the example that I was going to use where we lose our empathy, even spiritual people, because of the standards in society. So we have this thing with the border, and they changed all these policies and they weren't prepared for it. So now we have all these people that they took in, thousands, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 15,000 people that they did not allow to go out into the world, into the States. They said, you can't come into the States. You're here illegally. You're immediately a prisoner because we didn't find you eligible for asylum, which they changed a lot of the stuff that they allow in for asylum to make these people now illegal. But rather than do anything with them, they literally just incarcerated them. And so they're living in these cages, but they don't have enough cages, or they're living in these small rooms with too many people and not enough toilets, not enough anything. And it's this basically bureaucratic nightmare going on. And I don't ever want to think that it's someone's intention to purposefully hurt what is most likely an innocent person. Okay. It is never, I don't want to think that it's anyone's intention to purposefully hurt a child or neglect a child or abuse a child, right? Any of us, anyone watching this would say, it's not okay to abuse a child, even if their parent is a criminal, right? So people go to jail, their kids go into foster care. It's not okay to hurt the kids in foster care because their parents are criminals, right? We all know that. We all understand this as a logical thing and as a heart thing. None of us would ever walk up to a child and say, I'm going to keep you in a cage and not feed you, or I'm going to put you in a space where you're overcrowded, or I'm not going to change your diaper 6 times a day like I should. You're going to get 1 diaper a day. Get used to it, kid. None of us in regular life would ever do this. And if we brought our kids to a daycare center that was doing that, we would immediately report them and they would be shut down. But here in the States, this is what is happening. And so a large portion of liberal people are speaking out and screaming about this. And it is happening. That's not fake. It is a real thing. That's not fake. Are all the details of it exactly correct? Maybe, maybe not. But it is happening, and children are dying. More children are dying in this custody. More people are held now, almost than ever in our history. And it's secretive, but it's bureaucratically secretive because they were just trying to figure out where to put people, and they just started sending them away and not really keeping track of that kind of stuff. Any place that was empty, they stuck them, right? Now, you get into a conversation with people who you know have a heart, with people who are, wonderful, kind, loving, spiritual people. There are spiritual people who think that Donald Trump is the Messiah who is going to bring us out of the cabal and reveal all of the child pedophilia rings and save the world. There are people who believe that. So you have these conversations with people about this topic. And even with evidence, they will say, no, I support Trump. That's not happening. They will just ignore it. They will allow the society to overcome their unconditional love. And if we want to put it on the other foot, because people always say, Antifa. Okay, first of all, let's just remember that's anti-fascist, which anti-fascist is good. I don't agree with their methods because I never agree with violence. I am a pacifist, right? So I can look at the things that they do that are violent and say, They shouldn't be violent. Me personally, I can do that. As a liberal, they shouldn't be violent. I can appreciate their message, but the way they're getting it out is not right. The way that they're executing this is not correct. I can do that. But there are many liberals who will not, who say we should be mad, we should be up, we should be da-da-da-da-da. They aren't using their heart. When you come up as a fighter, the other person puts up their sword and their shield. And we go at each other, fighting over stupidity while the world is being changed around us and we're not even paying attention. But this is how we are skipping our empathy. We are losing our empathy in this world. This is where spirituality comes in, because you recognize, this is just an example, you can recognize those places in yourself where you are seeing the societal response rather than the heartfelt response. Because if one of those Trump supporters comes face to face with a cage full of kids who haven't been bathed in days, who don't have toothbrushes, who are sleeping 50 to a room, and they brought their kids down to play and sent them into that cage, they would have a very different attitude about it. Or would they? Or would they continue to allow the societal standards to tell them what's right and what's wrong? And because they support Trump, it's okay to put that kid in that situation because, well, his parents shouldn't have brought him. Well, they're illegal. They're criminals. They shouldn't have come. Have you ever sped? Did you ever break the speed limit? Did you know that that makes you a criminal? That's breaking the law. It's not a violent crime. They're talking about letting all criminals who didn't do violent crimes out, or not all of them, but a lot of them out in this next criminal reform thing they want to do. There is this space where we choose to maintain the status quo of society over the love in our hearts. This happens with forgiveness as well. When there is a shooter, when there is a bomb that goes off, when there is an attack on something, we lose our empathy and we stop seeing the other person as a human with a heart, who has feelings. We stop seeing the shooter as someone who is in pain. We stop seeing the people who are bombing as people who are trying to live in the way that they think is right for them. And they think this is the only way to make that statement. Do I agree with it? No, I don't. I'm a pacifist. I never think that we should use violence to make a point. However, I also can see the other side of this. So how do we take those societal standards and shift them? Out in the real world, we do it one person at a time. Just like at Woodstock. If there had been even 50 people that were bitching and complaining and decided they were going to raise hell because there's no damn food here, and I paid to get up here, even though some people paid, some people didn't. Maybe this is one of the people who paid. I paid to get here. I walked 10 miles to get here. You won't even have a damn sandwich from me. Screw that. I'm ripping things apart. And if 50 people had joined in on that, it would have been a riot, trashed. We would be talking about it as the biggest, most horrible thing that happened to the United States. It would have been horrendous. We'd still be talking about it in a bad way today. But each person became responsible for their own attitudes, for their own way of living, for their own belief systems, and for how they conform to society. Because if you had some squares in there, man, they probably would have been complaining that they couldn't get their Fago. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been a thing. It would have been a problem because they were looking for their societal standards. Because they were conforming with what has given them the feedback, the positive feedback. Because when you fit in, the world rewards you. Society rewards you. When you do what everyone else does, you continue along like the lemmings. But just by shifting your own energy, you can change that. You can save the world. Just by paying attention to those moments when you catch yourself saying something like, oh, that person should get a job. When you see someone sleeping on a park bench, why don't they find some place to go? Why didn't that person get a job? Look, they're on a cell phone. I see a phone right in their bag. Why don't they have a job? Or when we see young mothers who don't have money having problems with their kids in the store, or even young mothers who do have money and the kids are acting out and the moms don't know what to do, and we're condemning them. Terrible mom, what the hell is wrong with you? Or that's a rotten kid. You know what would help more? And you don't have to do anything. I'm not telling you to go up and help the lady. Send positive energy to that child. Send positive energy to that woman. When somebody is angry at you, send them some positive energy while they're screaming at you. They're in their feelings. They're in their, I need this person to believe what I believe moment. Shift that energy. Shift that calm. And you guys know, because I've said it a million times, everybody knows someone when they walk in the room, it's like, oh God, this person. And everybody knows someone when they walk in the room, it's like sunshine, everyone's happy, woohoo, yay, they're here. And they haven't said a word. It's the energy that they're carrying around with them. It's the energy that you're carrying around with you that changes the world, that tips the scales, that shifts the people around you. Some people can't deal with it. You know what? They'll fall off. But you don't let them fall off like, get away from me. You're negative. You're this. You're that. Da 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 da. No, it's in love. Hey, man, it's all good. I'm not for everyone, but come back when you're ready for it. You know, it's okay. It's not always an easy thing, but it's definitely a good thing. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap it up now. And if you want to pre-order my new book, you can go to unleashyourlight.org. Now, this is not a new book. This is an old book. However, this is a newly published book, a newly published version of it. So you're actually getting quite the bargain. It is going to be paperback size, and you will be able to take notes, highlight, write in the corners, rip out pages, do whatever the heck you want to do it. I'm going to have little pages in there for journaling. It's pretty cool. And my son designed all the artwork for it, so it's pretty neat. Okay, guys, I love every single one of you. I hope that I will see you in the very near future. Have a fabulous weekend. Maybe some old friends, maybe some new friends. Who knows? We will see. We will see. All right. I love you guys. Mwah.